time now for our weekly check-in on the world of science with science and tech specialist Dan Riskin. Dan, great to see you again.
Great to talk to you.
So Jen's giving Dan some homework, so that's maybe for a future segment, but we're going to talk about the present here and now. And really, less than 24 hours from now, total lunar eclipse set to happen tomorrow. Bill's telling us maybe we're not going to get the best visual here specifically, but still, it's a cool event.
So there is a total lunar eclipse happening tomorrow morning from about 6 in the morning until about 7 in the morning. I think it's 6:04 to 7:02. That's going to be a total blood moon. And so it's the moon doesn't disappear, it just turns red. There you can see a shot of what it looks like as it begins, and then it sort of has this red hue. And what's really two things to know that are really neat. One is that it's red because the light that's hitting it is going through our atmosphere around the sides of the Earth like a sunset.
Oh.
Okay.
And so it's like all of the Earth becomes a giant sunset that lights it up. But the other thing is that the whole moon is in shadow for everybody. Like, it doesn't matter where you are on the Earth to see it. So there's none of this like, oh, where am I? I have to make sure I know where I am on the map and what time it happens for me, because that's different if I'm here or there. No, it's just the whole moon is in shadow, and so it's the same time for everybody.
Right.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
And the good thing is you don't need special eclipse glasses to look at it.
No, totally safe to look at. And let's hope that Bill Coulter doesn't let us down and give us bad weather, because we know he creates the weather, right?
Bill Coulter, exactly.
So
He's
mixing it up right now.
I think he's stirring a pot or casting some spells right now. But so it should be low on the horizon, but if there at least will be breaks in the clouds, make sure you have a look.
Yeah, let's hope so.
And very quickly, how long does it last?
It's almost a full hour. So from about 6 in the morning until about 7 in the morning. That's the total.
He did say that, yeah.
But there's also the partial leading up to it and the partial after. So if you missed it, just look at the sky.
Just look at the sky.
On your commute safely.
Very cool. Dan, I love this next topic because I feel like maybe I'm a senior already, because apparently for lonely seniors, reading is better than socializing.
This was a counterintuitive result from a study of what correlates with loneliness in seniors in England. And these are people 54 and over. So not seniors, but including seniors, but all ages, sort of past 50. And what they found is when they looked at people's loneliness scores and they looked at how people were spending their time, a stronger predictor of not feeling lonely was reading lots of books.
Interesting.
Than compared to volunteering in communities, social things. It was especially true when people had a small social network, but reading was so powerful. And I just find that so weird that reading a book could make you feel less lonely than actually hanging out with actual people.
I will say this, and this is going to sound ridiculous, but my wife talks about her book boyfriends, because she, she loves like heated rivalry and stuff like this.
Right.
And maybe that's sort of a thing that maybe people develop like relationships with the characters in the books that they're reading, and they feel connected to them.
Absolutely.
Perhaps.
And so one of the big questions I have is whether this is true for younger people too, right? Like I have this idea that as you get older, you get more fixed in your ways. You don't find as many people that you quite meet eye to eye with. The people in the books, now I understand them, right? Like we get along because there's no sort of back and forth. And so I wonder whether for young people you would see the same kinds of trends. People say young kids don't read books anymore, so I hope that's not true.
No
but
kidding.
Reading books is good for you, and it's so interesting that it can help you fight loneliness.
Okay, 30 seconds on this. Wanderlust in your DNA? Perhaps not.
Yeah, so
it is,
there's some science headlines, I don't know if anybody's seen them floating around, that it's in your DNA whether you're going to travel a lot. They looked at the genetics of people in Europe and how far they live today compared to the place they were born, and they found that there's some genes that are correlated with the tendency to live in a different place. But I'm just going to put my sort of wah-wah hat on this and say, the strongest they found in the whole study was about a 5% correlation. So 95% of it is just what's happening in your life. A tiny genetic story there, but for the most part, it's what you decide to do. No, it's not in your DNA.
Gotcha.
Wanderlust is not easy when you've got a bunch of kids at home. That's not easy.
You're not going
Doesn't matter what ancestry says, Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Okay, Dan, we always appreciate this. We'll look forward to next week.
Enjoy the eclipse.
Yeah, indeed.
Thank you, Dan.